Good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are. This is Friday, August 2nd, 2019. Sweet Christmas. It is August already. Oh my gosh, guys. I know most of you are probably going to end up watching this after this is recorded and posted up, but I just wanted to wish everybody out there a great, happy Friday. For all of you that are just going out back to college and going back to school, I wish you the best of luck. Today, we're going to be talking about your questions. There are quite a few questions out there that you guys have sent me, and I'm really interested and fascinated in some of them. There's one particular question that I really, really dug. Apologies if you were one of the ones that were in the other live stream right now. Hey, Jesse. I was having some technical issues with the other live stream. This whole StreamYard thing, it's kind of new to me, so I'm dealing with that. But I hope everybody out there is doing well, and I hope you guys are enjoying your Friday night, be that as a may or whatever. But yeah, let's dive right into some questions. So, first question I got: did you sell your collection? If not, then can we get a collection video? This is by Shoruya. Guys, I'm going to warn you right now. If you don't remember, it's been a while, but I'm horrible with names, like really, really bad. I'm terrible at names. Hey, Hamza. But bear with me. We'll get through this. Yes, I did sell off the vast majority of my collection years and years ago. And the reason behind that is simply because I was kind of struggling financially. I was kind of in a real rough spot. And I just, moving out and things like that, kind of striking on your own, you got to make sacrifices sometimes when you move out on your own. And if you're kids or if you're teenagers or something like that out there right now that are watching this or watching this after this is all done, you're going to experience that. You're going to have to make up some sacrifices. And one of those things was the collections had to go. And that happens, but I have since gone digital. And for me, digital is a bit more convenient. It's a lot easier for me to maintain and to store simply because it's all on a hard drive. And now digital and hardcovers and trades and things like that, they have their pros and cons, as you can imagine. And I could do a whole video on that, which I may do that soon too. And the biggest pro and con is that with the digital thing, all you really have is a file. When you think about it, you kind of have a file that's out in space and out in the ether, and it's not something that you have physically like in your hand. And we're going more and more digital, and stuff like that kind of scares me because when you hear stories of, okay, for example, the TV show, what is it, 13 Reasons Why, 14, whatever it is, and how Netflix pulled the episode, they've censored it, and they're changing it. Which, I can see both sides of it. It's very, but my fear of that is that we go digital, a writer or an artist or whoever it may be puts something out there and he gets backlash and, it might be controversial or something like that. And just to please the masses, he ends up changing it. He ends up changing a panel, or he ends up changing something the way that it's written just to please somebody that's offended. And that to me is the most frightening thing about this digital thing, is just the ease of not necessarily owning something physically, that it can be changed or altered from what the original context was of the writer or the creator. Obviously, the big thing of going digital versus having a solid collection is the simple fact that if you go digital, you save a lot of space. There's that convenience factor of just having everything on your a tablet or your hard drive or something like that. You just save a lot more room in your apartment. For somebody like me, that's beneficial because I do live in a small one-bedroom apartment, and space is a premium. It's a real big premium. And you find that out, man, that every little piece of furniture you put into an apartment, it takes up a lot of space. So having all these books and having all these long boxes and things like that, it's not a good thing when you live in a small one-bedroom apartment like I do. And it kind of can bite you in the ass later on. The next question. Do you watch any, or have you watched any of the superhero TV shows? If so, which is your favorite? I'm not that huge into superhero TV shows. For some strange reason, it's just never really caught on with me. I know a lot of diehard fans out there, they're huge fans of The Flash, where they'll watch every season. It's like 22, 23 episodes. I think the biggest thing that's the biggest hurdle for me for that stuff is 22 episodes is a long time for a season. It's a huge time constraint. Versus something like The Boys, which I don't know if you would even consider The Boys a superhero TV show, but The Boys is 8 episodes long. It's tight, it's concise, it's right there, and it's boom, boom, boom. Everything is really good. And I think those 8 episodes of The Boys is just right. Maybe they could have fleshed it out to 10, but I don't see them I wouldn't push it to like 13 or 14 episodes, and I definitely don't think this age of 24 episode seasons, I think, is pretty much done. I even like the BBC stuff where things like Sherlock is only 4 or 5 episodes a season, and that is it. Or Luther, where you get 3 episodes a season sometimes, and I'm good with that. I don't think that we need these super long and super extended and drawn out seasons, because a lot of that just kind of brings in filler episodes. I think Walking Dead is really, really bad with that. I think Walking Dead is a notorious TV show that has a lot of filler, and a lot of people have started dropping off because of it. Let me see. LG, I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about, if it covers everything in the comics. Otherwise, I would answer. Yeah, the 20 plus episodes of The Flash are a time commitment, and I just don't have the time. I really don't. Especially when you get older, you start realizing, man, time is so fucking valuable. That is the one thing that you will never get back in your life is time. That's why they stick you in prison, because that's, you can't get it back. But 22 episodes, when you think about that, you're dropping 19 hours just on one TV show, and I can't do that. Daredevil is great. Daredevil is very good. Let's see. Another question. We've gotten quite a few. How did I first get into comics? By Mindfunk. And was it a particular book, or did someone get you into them? I first got into comics as a kid, man, as a wee lad. I think the biggest thing about comics was that, and I'm about to get real deep with you guys, was comics was a way for me to escape. And what I mean by that is that comics have always been such a huge part of my life, and I think the biggest aspect of it was when my parents were first getting divorced. They made me and my brother do like this therapy thing because, they're getting divorced. They want to make sure that we're okay, da-da-da-da-da. And kind of as a way to entice me and my brother to go to therapy, because we really, we're kids. We really don't want to sit in an hour and talk to a stranger about our feelings, was to go to our local comic book store, Coliseum of Comics in Kissimmee as a kid. And that was what enticed us. That was the thing that really was like, okay, you get to go to the comic store after, and you get to buy like 3 or 4 like $5 comics or something like that. And I would always just spend like an hour after therapy going there. And that was kind of my way of escaping all the bullshit that was going on around. I wasn't really that popular in middle school. I really wasn't popular in high school or anything like that. So for me to be able to do that, it was my way out. And I think I've always kind of been drawn to them. Ever since I was a kid, I remember drawing comics in elementary school. We would do like these stick figures, and we would go in detail of like creating these really elaborate and crazy stories. None of it made sense, and none of it was really any good, but that was just the fun process of it. And I think a lot of comic book readers, they can relate to that stuff. Even as an adult today, there's something special about that Wednesday hike. And if you do the Wednesday hike, you go to your shop, you pick up your books, you look through, and then you find something else. And that's going to be something that I'm going to miss once we go all digital, because I do think that that's where the future is heading, unfortunately, is that Wednesday hike. Going to the store and seeing all the stuff on the walls and seeing everything out there, and, getting that guy who's like, yeah, man, you should check this out. I really dug that about comics. But that was kind of where I started with comics. Ever since then, I've been absolutely hooked. Let's see. Mindfunk, you asked quite a few. What was the first comic I ever bought? Oh my gosh. Okay. The first comic that I ever bought was probably one of the, with my own personal money, was probably a Spider-Man 2099 #1. And the only reason I picked up Spider-Man 2099 #1 was because I thought the suit was really badass, and I really dug it. So that was probably the first comic I ever bought. And I would go every single week, and I would hunt down, and I'd be like, oh man, I hope they have issue 2. And I think I ended up buying issue 3, 4, and 5, and I can never find issue 2 when I would go out there, and it always sucked. Hamza, I agree. I'm 13 and live in England. Comics are an escape for the typical BS that life contains. Aunt Shireen, he says, would love to see a guide on where to start reading Spider-Man. Not a greatest hits type, but a sort of read from this point. Spider X and Spider and Batman are so intimidating in this regard. So are you looking for something more along the lines of start with Stan Lee, then go JMS and Stan Lee, start with Stan Lee Ditko, go JMS Stan Lee, and then go forward from there, kind of like a continuity timeline-wise? I don't do that. My comic book stores receive books Wow, your store receives books monthly. That's crazy to me. While you reply back, what is the most prized item you own? Man, that's a tough one. And Shireen, let me, because I do have kind of a Spider-Man reading video, and that's more of the best of the best. But if you want something that's consistent, like, okay, here's a Spider-Man Ditko run, here's a Spider-Man John Romita Sr. run, and then what comes after that, and what comes after that. And that's a 10, 20-minute, that's like a 20-minute video easily. But let me see if I could come up with something. I'll put it on the schedule. I have quite a few things on the schedule right now. Okay, but answering the what is my most prized possession, I would probably say my most prized possession is, and this is going to get really sappy and kind of sentimental, but my most prized possession would probably be a quarter that my mom gave me that I keep in my wallet. And the reason behind that is that I was going through a real tough time at that time in my life, and I was getting really bad financially, and I'm in a better place overall in my life right now. But she gave it to me saying that this is the first quarter and things are going to change from here, and things have gotten better since then. And I'm still working through a lot of things like everybody else, but it meant a lot to me at the time, and I still carry that with me everywhere. So I'm kind of sentimental and kind of sappy, but her doing that little gesture for me was just, it means the world to me, And she's always been somebody that's been there for me, and has always been a person that I absolutely love because I love my mom. Mindfunk. Okay, this next one, I'm just going down his list. How do I get a girlfriend? Jesus, man. Okay. So how do I get a girlfriend? That's a tough question, dude. It just kind of, it's stereotypical, but be yourself. I don't know how old you are, Mindfunk, but if you're somebody that's in middle school and high school, that's tough. That's tough, man. Like, life is really tough back then. Just realize that middle school and high school is not the be-all, end-all. And I'm pretty sure if you've heard this stuff before from somebody, but it's true. After you get out of high school and middle school, none of that BS will matter. Like, nothing that you went through in high school, or most of the stuff you go through in high school and in middle school, really won't matter in the grand scheme of things, because it's kind of like you start a fresh slate after. If you go into the workforce, or if you go into the military, or if you go into college, most of the people there really won't care what you did in middle school or high school, or really even give a damn about what happened back then. But realistically, is just be yourself, man. Don't be a dick. Like, don't be a dick, and just be authentic to yourself. There's like, what, 6 billion people on this earth. There's gonna be somebody out there that if you have an eye patch and you got a peg leg or something like that, they're into pirates or something like that. There is somebody for everybody out there, dude. And I'm pretty sure you'll be okay. You'll find somebody. Just give it time and don't rush into anything. I just got out of a toxic relationship, so trust me, I know what it's like. But at the same time, you don't want to just rush into a relationship that's really bad, because then you'll just end up having a lot of regrets and stuff like that later on. So trust me on this one. Trust me. But like I said, the best advice is be yourself and get out there. Like, you're not going to find anybody sitting at home playing video games or, scratching your ass on the couch all day. You got to get out there, dude. You got to give it a shot. And I know it's difficult, and I know it's tough for some of us comic nerds to kind of break out of our shell as it is and be ourselves. But trust me on this one. You'll thank me later on if you just get out there. At least make it a personal goal of yourself to at least get out at least once a week, whether it's friends or go to the movies by yourself, and just, interact with people. Give the cashier at the movie theater stand like a good smile or something like that. It doesn't matter. But you'd be surprised what you can do with your confidence if you just break out of your shell a little bit. And I feel like I'm giving life advice to this kid. What was the most significant thing that happened on or around your birthday in comic book history? See, I've seen these covers that have been coming out lately with people posting out, oh, what's the cover that came out for your birthday, like with Marvel or the X-Men and stuff like that. And I don't know, to be honest, I can't answer that one off the top of my head. Favorite story arc of all time, All-Star Superman. Let's kind of get into other people's questions. You're kind of hogging the spotlight. What's your favorite Marvel DC film and why? My favorite Marvel or DC film? Marvel film would probably be Winter Soldier. I still think Winter Soldier is the best Marvel film that's out there. Endgame is really close for me simply because Endgame is so grand in scale and so impressive in terms of what they did with that story and everything that they were able to accomplish with that. When you think about it, it's 10 years. 10 years in the making to get this done. It's insane. It's crazy to think that they were able to culminate 10 years worth of stories into something that's even slightly coherent and actually works. That's nuts. That's crazy to me. And I think that that's their biggest accomplishment, is that I had my doubts of like, oh man, there's absolutely no way that they're going to be able to pull this off. That there's absolutely no way that they'll be successful in this. And you know what? I was gladly proven wrong, and I'm happy about that. It's crazy. What are you looking forward to in the realm of comics, video games, and or movies? Man, in the realm of comics, right now, really the Hickman stuff is great. I've got to give it to Hickman. He is delivering one hell of a great X-Men story. If you haven't read his Powers of X and House of X or Powers of 10, whatever he wants to call it, I really recommend you check that out because it's fantastic. It's actually a really great starting on point for people that really want to get into the X-Men. You really don't have to have any prior knowledge to the X-Men to understand it or like it. And I recommend you check that one out. It's really the most intriguing thing that's being put out right there. And I would say Gideon Falls. Gideon Falls and Black Hammer. Oh, guys, holy shit. Okay. If you guys take my recommendations seriously in any form, in any capacity, you need to read Black Hammer. Black Hammer is the best superhero universe that's going on right now. It's written by Jeff Lemire, and Jeff Lemire is a writer who, I swear to Christ, he must have gone into the woods and trained with like the monks and was like there for a year or something like that, because the output that this man has had over the past year is insane. Between Gideon Falls and all the Black Hammer and Black Hammer spin-off books, it is insane the stuff that this man is doing, and I have the utmost respect for this guy. It's crazy. Everything in the Black Hammer universe is solid, like absolutely solid, and I 100% think you should check this out. In fact, I'm not even going to really tell you anything about Black Hammer because I don't think that I should ruin it for you. Just take my recommendation seriously. If you like superheroes, Black Hammer is the 100% way to go. It's some of the best stuff that's being done right now. Have I seen the Phase 4 movie list? Yeah, I did. And the thing that I'm kind of most excited for is Thor: Love and Thunder, which is just great. I love that name. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the Blade movie. I'm excited for the Blade movie. That's going to be up on my list as well. I was kind of disappointed. I was expecting another Black Panther because I really dug Black Panther. But I guess they're just going to push that stuff back. What else was there? Not a fan of Captain Marvel, so I'm pretty sure. But Captain Marvel's probably going to be Phase 5. Let's see. What else did they announce? Oh, the what was it? Not New Gods. The Eternals. The Eternals film. I have no prior experience with the Eternals, and I don't know. I really don't know. Since I don't have any prior experience with them, I don't know what to expect. So, but I am curious about it. So I'm going to be checking that out. But my most anticipated one is probably Blade. And the Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah. Yep, King Crow. Yes, I am excited for female Thor. I think that is a hell of a good run by Jason Aaron, and I'm sorry you don't see it that way. Difference of opinions, man. Have I read Zdarsky's Daredevil? No, I have not. I haven't gotten a chance to get to it yet. Oh, as far as video games, man. Okay, so I am a Hideo Kojima junkie. I love the guy's work. And if you know anything, one of my best buds that I talk to online is Matt Miranda, and he is too. And I can't wait for Death Stranding. Oh my God. I don't know what the fuck it is. I really don't know. And we're running the risk that Kojima goes way too Kojima because it's like Kojima Unchained. He doesn't have anybody that's holding him back, it seems. And it just becomes an irrelevant mess where you just don't understand what the hell is going on. But that is that's the game I'm most curious about because we keep seeing all these teasers and all these trailers that we have no fucking clue what the story is about. We have a little bit of an understanding. My guess is that you're playing a guy that can kind of go between a realm of the living and the dead, and you're basically just shepherding these bodies across the realm or something like that. But it looks fucking interesting. Like that is the game that I am the most curious about for the following year. That and the new Doom, because I'm a Doom fan. Death Stranding, it just looks like it's so ambitious, and that's the most Kojima game that I've ever seen Kojima do. And that's part of the reason why I am interested in it. What have I been reading recently or watching shows and rumors? I've been diving my toe more and more into manga lately. I've already told you I've been reading Gideon Falls. I've been reading Powers of X, House of X, Immortal Hulk. My lord, Immortal Hulk is great. Immortal Hulk is one of those it's one of those books that you get the perfect writer and the perfect artist working together in tandem, and they just make magic with the perfect character. It's really rare you get it, but every once in a while you do. You get kind of like a Scott Snyder, Batman, or you get an Alan Moore and Swamp Thing. And Immortal Hulk is one of those perfect examples where Al Ewing, man, he was born to write the Hulk because it is the best Marvel comic on the stands right now. It's so good. Like, Immortal Hulk is fantastic. If you haven't checked it out, guys, you really do owe it to yourself to pick it up. I think there are 2 trades or 3 trades, not 100% sure of that right now, but you do really owe it to yourself to check out Immortal Hulk. And if you do check it out, please use my Amazon links in my videos because I get a cut of it. It helps. Tokyo Ghoul is amazing. Actually, funny enough, I was just going to start Tokyo Ghoul today. I have just wrapped up. I'm all caught up with My Hero Academia as far as the weekly chapters go. I'm reading One Piece right now. You know, the traditional stuff that everybody gets into. But Tokyo Ghoul is the one that I'm going to start right now. I'm reading Dr. Stone as far as manga goes, a few things like that. Yeah, so definitely okay, here's your homework. Go pick up Immortal Hulk because Immortal Hulk is fantastic. Immortal Hulk is the best thing that they're publishing right now, along with, believe it or not, Venom. Venom by Donny Cates. Sweet Christmas, man. Donny Cates. You know what? Donny Cates actually makes me give a shit about Venom. He actually makes me give a shit about a Venom comic. I'm not the hugest Venom fan. You know, I've read Lethal Protector and I've read a few things out there, and I've never been the Venom guy per se. But Donny Cates, man, he's doing some of the best work that he's ever done with that Venom book right now. And I am super pumped and excited for the Carnage event that's coming next week. I've heard like the first issue is something like around 60 pages with Ryan Stegman doing art, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Stegman. But sweet Christmas, man, it's so good. You guys need to pick up Venom. If you really like the Tom Hardy Venom movie, which I wasn't that crazy about, wasn't that nuts about, but you'll love this. You will really love this. He does a lot with the mythos of Venom and the whole planet of the symbiotes and things like. He's doing his best work, man. He really is. Venom is something on another level right now, and I really recommend, if you haven't been checking it out, you really do. I had some questions in here. Have I read Injustice? I read a few issues of it. Really didn't do anything for me. I've heard it gets better as it goes. Just not a fan. Just not really my thing. Have you read any series by Matt Kent, by Mind Management or Department H? I've read Mind Management. I dig Mind Management a lot. I didn't care for the ending too much. I kind of fell off towards the end of it, simply because I just didn't do anything for me. I kind of lost track of it after a while. But I do like Matt Kent overall. I know he's doing the art in Black Hammer 45 or 1945. And I don't mind Matt Kent's art. I know there's a lot of people out there that are not crazy about it. You know, he doesn't have the cleanest art style. It's kind of all over the place, but I do enjoy it. He's kind of like Jeff Lemire in that sense. Why did I leave physical books? I kind of explained that a little bit. It's more space, just space and convenience. It's more convenient for me to go digital and have things on a tablet versus me having a whole shit ton of books in a small 1-bedroom apartment. And here in Orlando, it's easier for me. Let's see. Rumor, talks, or speculation on upcoming Marvel or DC films. And this is all by Rafael Plasencia. Rumor, talks, or speculation. I mean, I don't know. Are there really any rumors as far as like what's going on? Anything really big in terms of the movie stuff? We know that the Black Widow film is set after Civil War, which there was a debate about that. Is it going to be set in the 90s? Is it not? Like, where's the timeline in that? I'm pretty sure the villain is Taskmaster in it. But I don't know. I don't know about that one. What was the end of the okay? There were a few Twitter questions. Let's see. And you guys really asked some good stuff. Oh, I like this one. This is the one I wanted to talk to you about the most. What is my spoiler-free take on Tom King's Batman? What is my spoiler-free take on Tom King's Batman? Okay. So Tom King's Batman is a bit of a mixed bag for me, and I'll explain why. I don't have anything against Tom King. I think he really is one of DC's best writers right now. His Mr. Miracle is great. His Vision, I think, is probably the best thing that he's written. His Sheriff of Babylon is also fantastic. But I think that Tom King's Batman is a mixed bag simply because I think he has trouble with the voice of the character. And here's I'll get to it in a second. So the first arc for me did almost nothing for me. It really didn't. I wasn't a fan of the whole Gotham Girl or whoever the hell it was or whatever. The two superheroes that showed up in the first arc, I wasn't crazy about it. And it really felt like King was trying to find his footing. He really didn't know necessarily where he was going to go with it or trying to find the voice of Batman. Whereas Scott Snyder, for me, right off the bat, he knocked it out of the park. And, we really shouldn't compare, Tom King's his own thing and Scott Snyder's his own thing as well. But for me, Tom King's Batman, it's just not interesting to me. And it's just not, it's not fun. When I think about Scott Snyder's run on Batman, I think about the Court of Owls. I think about the Joker and Death of the Family and those great stories that I was waiting month after month for another issue. Like, I would read a Court of Owls issue and go, holy shit, what's going to happen next? Like, I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. Like, oh man, he's really got me. And the pacing of it was far more consistent for me, where it dropped off. Snyder's run for me dropped off a little bit towards the end with the Mr. Bloom stuff and, the whole Mecha Gordon Batman thing. I really wasn't crazy about that. But fuck me, if for 40 issues or 38 issues, however it was until we got to Bloom, he had me, man. He had me by the balls. And I was just interested every single month. Okay, when's the new Snyder book? And I would just devour it. That's one of those runs that I'm going to go back 10, 15, 20 years from now and still just be reading it over and over again. I probably read that run at least once a year because I love it that much. And man, Greg Capullo, I remember when it was first announced that Capullo was coming back into the fray and he was going to be doing the New 52 Batman stuff, and how much shit the guy got. How much people were talking down to the guy, saying, oh man, it's just a knockoff Spawn artist. Oh, this guy, he's kind of a hack, da-da-da-da. And he comes out swinging and knocks it out of the fucking park. And the thing is, he was consistent. That motherfucker was consistent because it was month in and month out. You would get like your one or two issues where we'd kind of give him a break to have some time off because every artist deserves it. It's tough to do the monthly grind. But fuck me, every single month he was knocking it out of the park issue after issue. And just great panels, great action scenes, great movement. Oh my gosh. And the thing is with King's Batman is just it's a subject of highs and lows. I didn't care for the first arc. Second arc, I was like, oh, wow, this is really good. War of Jokes and Riddles, I was like, wow, this is fucking great. You know, then he was leading into the wedding. And I'm like, okay, the wedding is okay. Yeah. And then the wedding issue happened. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? It was like I was driving 90 miles an hour and I just hit the wall. And ever since I hit that wall, I tried to keep reading after that. And I don't know. It just hasn't been doing it for me. It really hasn't. Yeah, and that's the thing with LG. Capullo got better as he went along. It was kind of like he was just warming up at the beginning, and then once that engine was going, man, he just kept crushing pages after pages. Like the 0 Year stuff is beautiful. There are some genuinely impressive panels in there where I just want to hang some of that stuff in my room. Not to say that the artist that King isn't working on isn't great either. There are some really great stuff in there too. But man, and the thing is, it's just inconsistent. It's really been inconsistent, and I think that the sales of Batman have been down. And you know, conspiracy theory time, whatever you want to call it, da 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 da. But I think DC saw that the sales are down on this, and King still was like, no, I'm going to make it to 100 issues. Like from the beginning, he said, oh, I'm going to do 100 issues. And it's like, man, you know, okay, go for it. It's not easy. You know, and I think it was just a little bit of being cocky. But it's just, I don't know. I really don't know. It's just that inconsistency, man. After that wedding issue, it just derailed the whole thing for me. And I can't wait for them to get a new artist and a new writer, and hopefully just keep going with it and hitting the gas on it. For me, though, I've dropped all of Batman except for Batman Last Night, which is, again, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo that are doing that right now. 2 issues have come out. It's a 3-issue maxi series, and I think it's like a double-sized issue each issue. And God damn it, is it so good. Oh my God, it's like drinking water in a desert after reading the King stuff. It is so good. It's so much fun, man. And I think that's also part of it, is that for me, Snyder really seems like he enjoys writing Batman, and he enjoys really having fun writing the character. Whereas I'm not necessarily sure King really is enjoying it as much. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But it's just more fun. You know, so that's my take on Tom King's Batman. You know, I hope that Tom King's Batman ends well. I know they're kind of spinning it off, and he's doing like a 10-issue maxi series or something like that as kind of his closer. I'm willing to bet that was originally supposed to be part of his 100-issue run, and DC Comics probably just went up to him and said, okay, Batman sales are down, like really down, so we're going to have you in this little corner over here doing your Batman story, and then we're going to get another writer and another artist on a Batman project, on Batman proper. I have my fingers crossed for who that is. I don't know who. I'm willing to probably guess it's going to be Bendis, because it's fucking Bendis, and Bendis does crime books, and that's his forte. You know, ideally, I would like to see Brubaker come back and do a Brubaker Phillips Batman book. We kind of got that when he was doing Gotham Central, but not really. But Brubaker's exclusive to Image for, I think, the next 2 years, so that's probably not going to end up happening. Sucks. Let's see. What's my favorite comic ever? Yeah, it's Preacher. Preacher is my favorite comic ever. It's like, hey, Mr. Betty Ford, you totally understand me. Ooh, that's a good one. I would love Brian K. Vaughan. Ooh, Jeff Lemire on, yes, Amazing Light. Yes, Jeff Lemire on Batman. Yes, please. I would love Brian K. Vaughan or Jeff Lemire on Batman. Good choices, man. Ancient Eunuch. Lou, keep making videos. Your info is greatly appreciated. Thanks, man. My goal is Monday through Friday to do 1 video a day. It won't always be how to start, simply because I'll burn myself out just on that topic alone. And I don't think everybody wants to see how to start videos 5 times a week. It'd just get too much. But that's my goal right now, Monday through Friday, to have 1 video, with Friday being kind of a Q&A, simply because I like doing Q&As, and they're easier to do than having to sit down at a computer for 4 or 5 hours a day and edit. Ugh. Could you make a video showing your physical collection? It would be interesting to see which physical books you kept. Dude, I don't have much, to be honest with you. I have a few things here and there, but It's not much. And to be honest, I just post a video up and it'd probably be 2 minutes long and I'd get downvoted to hell simply because everybody would be like, oh, you sold off your books. Halo Scarlet. What do I think of Tom King's Batman run? Dude, you missed the rant I just had about 30 to 20 seconds ago. Me talking about Tom King's Batman, and I wasn't crazy about it. Oh, I could show questions on here. Cool. Vasco, have I read Superman Year One? No, I have not. Is that's the Frank Miller book? I'm going to assume, right? That's the one he's doing right now with John Romita Jr. I haven't, but I have heard it's actually not terrible, but we'll see. Let's go back and do some questions. What platform do you use to read your digital comics? For me right now, the easiest thing for me to do is the Comixology app. Comixology is a great deal. They have a lot of sales every once in a while. It's a solid website, and you can buy your stuff from there, and it just goes right to your tablet. The best online deal right now that is going on right now, as far as legally getting comics and manga and stuff like that, and I'm gonna put manga in this category because manga really is just comics, is the Shonen Jump app. The Shonen Jump app is $1.99 a month. That's $2. And with that, you get every single new chapter that's released every single week, as well as previous chapters. So you're getting the entire library of some of this stuff. Of My Hero Academia, of Naruto, for those of you that are out there, Dragon Ball Z, Tokyo Ghoul, One Piece. The list just goes on and on. Dr. Stone, man, the list just goes on and on. For $1.99 a month, you cannot beat that. It's insane. Like when they first announced it, I was like, there's got to be a catch because there's no fucking way it's $1.99 a month. Sure enough, for $1.99 a month, you get all this great stuff and you get new chapters, which is just a steal. Marvel Unlimited is good too, but Marvel Unlimited, I believe, is $11 a month. And yeah, that's a shame. Marvel Unlimited is, I believe, $7 a month. No, $11 a month, and you get issues that are a year old. The DC Universe app, which I'm glad that they've got sticking around because some of the stuff that DC Universe is putting out is really good as far as like streaming content wise. The DC Universe app is adding comics to it, and I think that's $7 a month, and you get comics that are 6 months old. So the DC Universe app isn't bad either because you get a streaming service and you get a bunch of cool comics as well, and they've been really improving that and adding stuff to it. So I really recommend you check that one out. But if I were to have to rank them, I would say Shonen Jump at the very top because you just can't beat $2 a month. Like really, you can't for all that good stuff. The DC Universe app, torrenting, and then the Marvel Unlimited app because $11 a month. That's a streaming service like full on, and you get comics that are a year old. I think they really need to work on that and update that a little bit better. I have read Uncanny X-Force from Remender. I have read Uncanny X-Force from Remender on my recommendation. Some more stuff from Remender. I'm going to assume that you're recommending some more stuff from Rick Remender. Rick Remender, to me, his magnum opus, for me, just for me, has and will always be Uncanny X-Force. However, his best indie book is Fear Agent. If you haven't read Fear Agent, it's great, man. Fear Agent is so great. If you like space stuff, where you've got guys fighting aliens and intergalactic battles and time travel, and Fear Agent is so good. You really do owe it to yourself to pick up the Fear Agent hardcover collections that they were put out. I think there's 2 of them by Dark Horse. I'm not sure. I think they might be out of print at this point, but it's so good. Fear Agent is incredibly well done. It's so intelligent, and I really think you're doing yourself a disservice from picking that up. What else does he have? He's got Black Science is wrapping up, but I haven't heard too much hype around Black Science. I read the few first issues of it, and I dug Black Science a whole lot, but I remember thinking to myself, you know what, this is going to be one of those books that once it's all collected and once everything is done and put together, I'm going to enjoy this a lot more. And now that it's wrapping up, that's going to be one of those books that I know I'm going to come back to. So yeah, so Black Science and Fear Agent are my go-to choices right now for Rick Remender. He's great. Like Remender is fantastic. He's putting out some of the best stuff. Oh, dude, yes. Deadly Class. Deadly Class is the best thing he's writing right now that I've been reading. Deadly Class is fantastic. You started from the beginning. It's an Image series. I think it's like 36, 37 issues right now. And it's great. It's really great. There was a TV show on Sci-Fi that nobody watched, unfortunately, so they canceled it, which, it's sci-fi. Nobody was going to watch it anyway because it's sci-fi. Let's see. Did you keep your... Oh, Mr. Betty Ford. Huh. I like Calvin. Hey, did you keep your Absolute Preacher and Sandman books or sold them as well? Man, I sold everything, dude. I told you, I've only got a few things going on right now. I only have a handful of books in my collection, and, that's part of the reason why I'm not showing it off anymore. Kind of shifted my focus, hence the name change as well from the original name of this channel. For those of you out there that are new to this, was hardcover reviews. But in fact, if you look at some of those old videos that are terrible, you'll see that the name was Hardcover Reviews. But man, yeah, I sold off a lot of that stuff. And Absolute Preacher and Absolute Sandman are beautiful books. They really are. They so are. Let's see. Hey, bro, by David Muniz. Pretty new collecting Marvel Omnis. Which 3 Marvel Omnis do you recommend I start with that are in print? Okay. So I'm going to throw a little bit of a wrench in this question because this one is coming back into print. It's coming back in a few months. Uncanny X-Force. I think Uncanny X-Force is a must when that comes back in print. You definitely should be ordering that. It's a must buy. So there's that, but are currently in print right now. Man, that's a tough one. 3 Marvel omnibuses that are currently in print off the top of my head would probably be New X-Men by Grant Morrison. I'm pretty sure that's still in print, so I recommend you check that out. I have to think real hard on this one. I'll get back to you on this one because it's really bothering. Now this is going to bother me a lot. Black Science Deluxe Volume 2 is already out of print. Huh. What are some other ones? Oh, Samuel Espinoza. Did you see the new Hellboy movie? Oh my god. Oh my god. The new Hellboy movie. Holy shit. Okay. The best way that I could explain the new Hellboy movie is like every single one of my worst fears made a clone. They fucked the clone. And then that clone had a bunch of children. And then those children fucked each other. And that is the result of what I think of that new Hellboy movie. Holy shit, was that bad. Like, they tried to lift a bunch of the stuff from the Hellboy comics, and they kind of did. But man, just everything from the editing to the music choices to... Oh my god, what a mess that was. Look, I am a diehard Hellboy fan, as you know. And I'm good with them taking liberties. You know, the Del Toro films, there's a special place in my heart for the Del Toro films. And the Del Toro films are really not the comics, but they were good. The new Hellboy movie was just atrocious. Oh my goodness. Real Slim Shady. Dude, it's been a while. Speaking of Uncanny X-Force by Remender, what do I have to know before reading it, if anything? I don't need to know. You don't need to know anything. You could just jump right into Uncanny X-Force and be perfectly fine. And you'll have a good time. Hey, Matt. Nice to see you in the chat, buddy. Been a while. I wish Michelini from Batman Year 1 would do Batman art again. I wish Michelini from Amazing Light from Batman Year 1 would do Batman art again. Yes, please. I loved his work in Batman Year 1, man. Fantastic Four novels. Hey, Hardcover, do you think a 2-man writing team might help make Batman any better? Dude, I don't think it needs a 2-man writing team. I just think it needs a new writer. I think Tom King might be one of those writers where he works a lot better in a small format. He works a lot better with a 12, 10-issue format of writing. And, you know, there are writers out there that they can't do the long game that well, that they have difficulty with those filler issues in between their their big arcs. You know, there are guys out there that it's not easy. Like, it is not fucking easy writing 100 issues of one character and coming up with story every single month and having to connect your beats every single month to a larger story. It is not easy. So I just think it needs a new writer. That's all. I think once King, he's going to step aside. He's going to be doing his own Batman side project. I think it's like 10, 12 issues on the side. And, whatever comes of that, and we'll see. But I think Batman will be good if they just give it to somebody else. I don't know if Lemire will be able to do it because Lemire's got like 18 different projects going on right now, but I would love to see Lemire. I'm telling you, my best guess is, the obvious choice is Bendis. It really is. The man's already writing Superman, and his background writing Daredevil and crime comics is perfect for Batman, and he's right there in the office. It's like, all right, well, Bendis, do you want to write Batman? It makes the most sense. It really does. So, have I read Heroes in Crisis? No, I've heard Heroes in Crisis ain't that good. That's what I've heard, and I haven't picked it up yet. Milorad Boltovic, I believe I got that right. Apologies if I didn't, my good man. Legion Omnibus. Is it worth reading? The Legion Omnibus is, yes, solid. It's a good read. Yeah. It's nothing like the TV show. I'm going to warn you right now. The TV show is weird. It's really weird. But the Legion Omnibus is even weirder. It's really out there, and it's a lot of fun. No, it's a lot of fun, dude. I really recommend you check it out if you're new to Legion, and you really don't need to have any prior experience with the X-Men or those characters or anything like that. I do recommend you check it out. It's a fun read all the way through. Trust me. Matt Malroy, do you like Morrison's X-Men? I just finished the Omni today, and besides the art, about half the time the writing was great. Ooh. You didn't like, who is it? Oh my God, why am I blanking on the artist's name for Morrison's X-Men? Frank Quitely? You didn't like Frank Quitely's art? Oh man. I know Frank Quitely wasn't able to be consistent with the art on that series, simply because he's not really a monthly grind kind of guy. But man, and I just finished the Omni today, and besides the art, about half the time the writing was great. You didn't care for the writing either? Huh. I love that run. I love the run all the way through. Yeah, the ending with everything that happened with Zorn and stuff like that is like, that was kind of an ass pull. But it was still a lot of fun. It was still a really good run all the way through. And he shook up the X-Men in a big way. Like in a real big way. And I dug that a lot. It was cool. Plus, I dug the fact that he introduced like really ugly looking mutants and mutants with different deformities. And they were really out there and crazy looking. Because when you think about it, you think about mutants, you think, oh man, it'd be cool to have like, laser vision out of my eyes or telekinetic abilities and stuff like that. Well, not everybody's going to win the lottery on the mutant gene pool power. And sometimes you're going to get a shitty power. Like there's probably somebody out there that has like irons for their feet or something like that, and they just got the bad stuff. Like take Gold Balls. Gold Balls is an X-Men character that he makes gold balls out of his hands. That is his superpower. That was a Bendis creation. Jesus Christ, was that terrible. Matt Miranda, the stuff with the Genosha part is super important. Yes, it is. Morrison kicks off his X-Men run in a huge fucking way, and it has ramifications that are still going on today in comics. It's big. Like, he goes in with a bang in a lot of ways, and it's awesome. Thomas Judd, the Zorn retcon was a crime. Hey, I agree. I totally agree. I love Zorn. I thought he was great. He was a fucking awesome character. And then once we get towards the end, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Way to ruin a character for just shock value, which was that even I'm curious if that was even a Morrison decision or if that was an editorial decision, because I really love Zorn. You grew to love him as a character, and he really loved being in the class and stuff like that. I'm not going to ruin anything, but there is a huge revelation involving Zorn that if you do read Morrison's story, that I was like, you son of a bitch. Really? That's disappointing. Any recommendation for someone who likes Black Monday Murders and East of West, but none of any other Hickman's work? I'm tend to be in the occult stuff. If the occult is your bag, my recommendation for you would probably be Harrow County. I haven't read it, but I heard it does deal with that stuff. And you know what? Hellboy. Hellboy deals in the occult, man. Just pick up volume 1, Seidel, by Hellboy, and you're good to go. Just read it all the way through. And that's good occult stuff and mythological and horror stuff. And that's my choice. Hellboy is all good, and that deals with occult stuff. The what was it? There was also another spinoff series, not spinoff, but Mike was also doing another series, and I've talked about it. Baltimore. Baltimore is another great like occult book where it's like about vampires and hunting monsters and things like that. I really recommend you check that out. Baltimore is really good. In fact, I have my tablet here. I should be able to tell you something else. Let's see. What have I been reading? Let's see. For occult stuff, I usually have a good amount of horror books on me at the time. But yeah, my biggest choice right now will probably be Hellboy in Baltimore. Black Magic by Rucka. Yeah, I've heard good things. Matt Miranda, get some Hellblazer. Yes, Hellblazer, man. Start with the Delano stuff, which is volume 1 of Hellblazer, and just go all the way through. I wasn't a big fan of the Delano run of Hellblazer. However, I have heard that he comes back later after like a whole hundreds of issues, and the stuff he puts out is really good. But his Hellblazer run is a bit too wordy for me. After Delano comes Ennis, and Ennis's run is so much fun. But this is like young Ennis, where he was just kind of finding his voice in writing. He wasn't the Ennis we know today. And it's really cool seeing how he changed from that writer as a kid who's probably like 18, 20 in his 20s when he first started writing Hellblazer to the seasoned vet that he is right now. Matt Miranda with the good choices. Thanks, buddy. Fatale. Yeah, dude. Okay. Yes. 100%. All right. Go out right now, pick up some Fatale trades. Pick up Fatale trades, Fatale hardcovers. Pick those up. Fatale is great. Fatale is my favorite Brubaker Sean Phillips book. It's so fucking good. It really is. It follows a young woman who she has a curse on her. She's a femme fatale. And along the way, she is being hunted by beings of the occult. And every single man she is in contact with ends up pretty much in a real rough situation, kind of like my last ex-girlfriend. And it's really, really fucking good, dude. It's really good. I'm telling you right now, it's such a good read all the way through. Yeah, so Seidel, please pick up Fatale. Like, seriously, out of all my recommendations, go pick up the first trade of Fatale. It's really good, dude. Vasco. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Are you liking Bendis's Superman? Am I reading it? Yes. No. I take that back. Well, I was looking at Seidel's comment. Sorry. No, I am not reading Bendis's Superman just yet, dude. I have for monthly comics. My list for monthly comics is insane. Like my monthly list, just trying to keep up with everything, is just it's nuts. Everything that I'm reading right now. On top of that, now I'm reading more manga, and I'm struggling to keep up with everything. Honestly, we live in a great time where you have the people out, you have a certain select group out there that are saying, oh, comics are dead, or comics aren't really that good anymore as they were in the 90s, and and the comics weren't good as when I was in the. I think we're living in one of the best ages for comics, personally, because there's so much good and consistently good stuff out there. We have an assortment of riches between comics and manga that there's just too much. There is just absolutely too much to consume right now, and that's a good thing. That's a good and a bad thing, because I'm never going to get to a lot of the good stuff simply because, man, there's so much. There really is. Let's see. Other questions. Seidel, I already read Fatale. Loved it. I'll pick up Hellblazer and Hellboy. Yes, do yourself a favor, man. But as a warning, I always tell people this when they start Hellboy. If you've seen the Del Toro films, it's not that. It's not the Del Toro stuff. It's a little bit different. And the tone is different. So just giving you a heads up on that. Milrad Boltovic. Again, I apologize if I'm getting the name wrong, dude. Milorad. My man, for you, best manga, JoJo. But you must be patient. It is a great read. I want to read JoJo. I want to read JoJo not because I keep hearing it's good, simply because I'm so fucking out of the loop with all the memes and all the references that people post up online that I just want to read it so I know what the hell they're talking about and what's going on. But yeah, I really want to read JoJo. Jeremy Fedor. Am I still reading Gideon Falls? Yes. I think Gideon Falls is the best Image comic being published right now that I'm currently reading. It's brilliant. It's brilliant stuff, man. I love Gideon Falls. It's good stuff. Aiza Gilani, what is the best Batman graphic novel? Oh, man. Dude, that's tough, man. That's really tough. There's so much good stuff out there. I don't know if I can tell you what the best Batman graphic novel is. I will tell you what my personal favorite Batman graphic novel is, and it's Batman Black Mirror by Scott Snyder. This was Scott Snyder when he was first breaking out in the industry. It's not Bruce Wayne. It's Dick Grayson that's under the cowl. And Batman Black Mirror has one of those endings because they knew they were going into the New 52, so everything was pretty much going to get rebooted. So Snyder went for a haunting ending. The ending in Batman Black Mirror leaves you going, oh, fuck. It really does. Like, it ends on such a cliffhanger, and it's very open-ended because it could go one way or it could go another way, and it's so good. It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. And it's not like one of those things with like Inception where, oh, is the top still spinning? No, it's not that. But it has an ending that has so many consequences that we will never fucking get to see. Oh my God. It's so good. No, Batman Black Mirror is usually my choice that I tell people that they're looking to start in a Batman. I'm like, dude, you need to read Black Mirror. Yes, it's not Bruce Wayne under the cowl. It's Dick Grayson. But fuck me, man. It's so goddamn good. It's really great stuff. And they bring back Jim Gordon's son into the whole mix. And man, just thinking about it makes me want to just read it again. I love Batman Black Mirror. So good. Have I read Moon Knight? Have I read Jeff Lemire's Moon Knight? If so, is it good? I have, by Real Slim Shady, I have read the Warren Ellis Moon Knight. I haven't read the Lemire stuff. I have to confess, I'm not a huge Moon Knight guy. And in fact, thanks for the idea for a video, because that's probably going to be something I'm going to pull next week. I think I'll probably do a Moon Knight video next week, actually. That sounds good. I love the Warren Ellis stuff. I haven't read Lemire's Moon Knight, although I have heard Lemire's Moon Knight is actually really good. It's not bad. By Mint. Hi, I'm from Argentina, my friend. Have you read the manga Vagabond by Takehiko Inoue? Yes, I've read a few volumes of Vagabond. Oh my God. Vagabond's art is gorgeous. Vagabond's art is a thing of beauty. It really is, guys. If you have not seen the artwork that is in Vagabond, you owe it to yourself to check it out. It's spectacular. And it's a damn shame that the artist on it, the mangaka, he is taking a hiatus from the book. It's been a few years since we've gotten any more chapters or anything out of it, because every single page, every single panel in that book is just, oh my God, you just want to hang it on your wall. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful, and I really recommend you guys check it out. It's some of the most gorgeous art that I think I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of art. Luis Jupe, what do you think of The Boys comic by Garth Ennis? I think The Boys by Garth Ennis it's okay. So I'm gonna say this. Have you seen the Boys TV show on Amazon? Because I think the Boys TV show on Amazon is my favorite show for this year that I've seen so far. But it's different. It's different than the comic in the sense that I think that they took a product and they gave us something better out of it. I don't have any problems with the Boys. I mean, for Christ's sake, my favorite comic is Preacher. I'm not somebody that gets offended really easily, but there's some stuff in the Boys comic that I'm just like, that's kind of felt unnecessary. It's not really my bag. But the TV show for me was consistent for all 8 episodes, and it was really good, and it had a lot to say. It was very relevant for its time, and it was very intentional, and it was very smart. That's what I really loved about it. Fantastic Four novels. Do you think they could capture Hellboy in a TV series? If so, live or animated? I think so. I think Hellboy just lends itself more to kind of that Monster of the Week episodic content with like a through line story in between the Monster of the Week episodes. I think it's a better fit. To be honest, my biggest gripe with the Hellboy film simply was because of the fact that with the Hellboy film, they took arguably the longest arcs from Hellboy, which was the Storm and the Fury and the Wild Hunt. And they tried to cram every single thing into a 2-hour film. Each one of those movies, specifically the Wild Hunt, each one of those books could have been its own film. The Wild Hunt alone could have been a movie from the comic. And it was crammed too much, and it was just a mess all the way through. But I think it could lend itself better. In fact, I'm pretty sure, Dark Horse has exclusive rights with Netflix. Netflix has rights on First Pick for Dark Horse. And in fact, I will put money right now that it's only a matter of time before we get a BPRD show on Netflix. I don't think we'll get a Hellboy show, at least for the time being, simply because Hellboy, after the film, is kind of tainted. Like, a lot of people have got like a bad taste. So it's going to be a few years before we get anything Hellboy related off the ground. But I would put money that we'll get a BPRD TV show on Netflix at some point within the next 5 years. Oh, Farhan Kapadia. Which Teen Titans run would you recommend for a newcomer to get into? Hey, I like the young Goku in there. There are a few. There's the Marv Wolfman, George Perez run from I believe it was the 70s. That is the quintessential run for a lot of fans. And there's the early 2000s Jeff Johns Teen Titans run. I would recommend start with the early 2000s Jeff Johns Teen Titans run. It's really good. It's a lot of fun, and a lot of cool stuff comes of it, and I really think you'll enjoy it a lot. The Marv Wolfman stuff, that was of that era, so you have to understand that. But I do recommend you still read that, simply because a lot of cool shit came out of that run. And if you enjoyed the Teen Titans TV show, a lot of the stuff that was based on those characters in that cartoon TV show, not Teen Titans Go, but Teen Titans, the one I grew up with, the cartoon, a lot of stuff came from that run. Milorad Boltovic. I like this, guys. Yeah, the chat is really active tonight. I'm really happy with this. Good job, guys. What do you think of the new Watchmen project? Before Watchmen was disappointment. Doomsday Clock? Are you talking about the Doomsday Clock, or are you talking about the HBO series? Because I'm actually looking forward to the HBO series. I've seen the trailers, and I think that the HBO series has a lot of potential to really explore the ramifications of everything that ended up happening after the Watchmen series ended, because the TV show was actually based off of the events after the graphic novel had ended. So there's a lot of room to be covered, and they can explore a lot of different things. They could explore a lot of different areas. And we see already that a whole bunch of people are wearing Rorschach masks. The rumor is that Rorschach's journal actually got out, and a lot of people actually believe what happened in it, and it's like a conspiracy theory. We know Ozymandias is apparently dead at some point in the series, because if you look in the trailer, it says on the newspaper that Ozymandias died or something like that. It's I don't know. It's interesting stuff. I'm actually happy they got Dr. Manhattan in there because I really thought there's no fucking way that they'll do Dr. Manhattan. I don't think they'll be able to pull it off. And we didn't hear anything about it for a while. And then we see him in the trailer, and I was like, oh, wow, they're actually doing Dr. Manhattan. Holy shit. Okay. Have I seen Chernobyl? I started watching episode 1, but it was one of those things where I said, you know what? I bet this will be better once it's all done. And I will enjoy it a lot more once it's all done. So I've been meaning to kind of go back to it. I've heard it's fantastic. I've heard it's incredibly well done. And I've heard there's an episode in there involving animals, and I'm an animal lover. I love animals a lot. I'm one of those guys. Yeah. That has something to do with animals, and I know it'll just rip my heart up. So I was kind of putting it off because of that. Animal violence is kind of a big no for me in terms of comics and video games and TV and stuff like that. So that's always a thing where I'm like, In fact, I like John Wick 1 simply because they kill the dog, and then what falls on the guys is pretty much just straight up hell on top of the guys. And every single kill, I was like, oh, that's great. Speaking of Jeff Johns, what do you consider to be his best run? His best run for me is his Green Lantern stuff. Close second would be JSA. His JSA is really good. If you haven't read his JSA, I really recommend you check it out. But his Green Lantern stuff that's Jeff Johns' magnum opus. That's his thing that Jeff Johns, 30, 40 years from now, whenever the story is written on Jeff Johns' comic book work, whatever that may be, that's going to be his thing that he is best known for. Creating the kind of color spectrum of different rings, and just it's so good. It's so good. The Sinestro Core War, Blackest Night. Oh man, just thinking about that stuff. Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern is fantastic, dude. You really do owe it to yourself to check it out, and it's really good. Also, while you're reading that, I always recommend somebody to check out the the Green Lantern Core book that was running alongside that. Sometimes the Green Lantern Core book was just as good, if not better, than the Green Lantern run that was running at the same time that Jeff Johns was doing Green Lantern. Man, it's so good. David Munoz, do you recommend reading The Authority? Do I recommend reading The Authority? I haven't read The Authority. I've heard it's fantastic. I think there's an omnibus coming out in the next few weeks, but I have not read any Authority, so I can't really tell you anything on it. I know that I've been meaning to check it out simply because it's Warren Ellis, and I like Ellis. I think Transmetropolitan is brilliant, but I just haven't had the chance to sit down with it. Real Slim Shady, one more time. Quick thoughts on Far From Home, most anticipated Phase 4 film. I dug Far From Home, man. It was a fun movie all the way through. It was good. No, Far From Home was really fucking good. I wanted to see. I'm like, damn it, I don't want to ruin it, but I think Far From Home has the post-credit scene that has the most ramifications of any of the post-credit scenes that we've seen so far, at least off the top of my head. And if you've seen the film, you know which one I'm talking about. Not the one specifically tied to Peter Parker's life is the one I'm talking about, not the other one. Thoughts on Alan Moore retiring from comics? Isn't this like the 8th time that this wizard has retired from comics? Like, this is nothing new. Moore retires from comics like every 3 or 4 years. It's it's not that big of a deal. Like, yeah. It's really not. I mean, I don't. What is he going to do now? Is he going to do prose? I know he's got a prose book that he's either been working on or he's already published or something like that. But Moore. Look, there are some people that want to poo-poo on Moore, and that's your opinion or whatever. But you have to remember that Moore is one of the greatest comic writers of all time, and you can't take that away from him. You want to disagree with me? That's perfectly fine. But Watchmen, V for Vendetta, his Swamp Thing run, just all classic stuff. And when Moore was at the top of his game, when this was the 80s and stuff like that, you could not touch the man. Like he was just on another level, thinking critically wise and thinking as a designer. If you ever get a chance, actually, here's some more homework for you guys. Look up the original scripts for Watchmen. Look up some scripts that Moore has. I'm sure you can find them online for things like Watchmen, for things like V for Vendetta. The level of detail and how immaculate and how much thought he put into every single fucking panel into Watchmen or any of his other projects is insane. Look up some of those scripts, really. There's like I saw one once where it was like a paragraph just explaining what the puddle was inside of a comic that he was writing, and the significance of the puddle, and how the puddle should look, and what should be reflecting in the puddle, and what kind of color the puddle should be. It's insane. It's just nuts. Like any artist in their right mind would have gotten that and thrown it in the trash. Like, they probably would have. But I think it takes a special kind of artist and a special kind of writer to be that meticulous, And most guys just don't want to do that. Oh man, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. Joaquin is going to crush it. I can't wait. I cannot wait, dude. I am super excited to see Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. I think Joaquin has a lot of potential to be a fantastic Joker. And based on the stuff that we've seen already, it looks like it could be a tour de force performance. I mean, there are rumors that the studio's already talking about going for Oscar buzz. Like they want to run this into the Oscar circuit towards next year, which, hey, if it's that good, then it's that good. Apparently the script leaked online, and there are some people that are offended, and whatever, There are some people saying, oh, it's like an SJW Joker, which, shut the fuck up, please. Shut the fuck up. But I'm super looking forward to it. I really am super looking forward to it. The Joker film is one of my most anticipated films of the year. It really is. And I really have high hopes for this thing. And you know what? I hope I'm not disappointed. Based on the trailers, though, god damn, does it look good. Does it look really, really good. Living the Baldo life. Hey, so am I, man. Jane Foster's Thor. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how Natalie Portman is going to be in it. I don't know. Because the thing is, she's been out of the loop for the Avengers films and for the Marvel Universe as a whole for so long. And, I mean, they could make it work. I'm going to assume, just spitballing, they'll probably use her being absent away from, like, the Marvel Universe and stuff like that as a whole to kind of go, okay, well, she has cancer. Like, that'll be the big thing of why she's been AWOL from everything that's been going on in the MCU, is that she's got cancer and she's been dealing with it. Because if you don't know anything about it, Jane Foster in the comic has cancer. And every single time she turns into Thor in the comic, it pretty much just flushes out the chemo and stuff like that she was going through. And it's slowly killing her in the comic every time she turns into Thor. It's good. It's really good, though. I love that run. I really, really do. I know there's some people that don't. Yeah, whatever. It's up to you. Everybody has an opinion. It's like they say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got them, right? Everybody's got one. Billis, do you think that specific post-credit scene would have worked better pre-credits? Ooh, so what do you think? What do you mean, like as a closer? As, okay, we reached the end of the film, and then a closer, and then boom. For me now, it's a thing where we've been programmed so much with these Marvel films that we know the film really isn't over until the last name on those credits rolls. To me, the ending of those films is always the post-credit scene, so it really doesn't bother me either way. They can decide what they want to do, how they want to do it, either way, and it doesn't have an effect on me or my enjoyment of the film. There are some post-credit scenes I'm like, okay, yeah. Whoa, just got a bunch of them at once. What is going on with the chat? Is everybody just playing catch-up, or is my chat just playing catch-up with the stuff being typed in? I just got spam like 5 at once. Jamie LaFavor. Hi, my name is Hayden. Do you think there will ever be an Alien Covenant sequel? I'm pretty sure there will. Well, I can't say that now because Disney bought the Alien franchise and all the stuff when they got Fox. Yeah, how crazy is that? Disney now owns Alien, Predator, and like 30% of all the stuff that we watch now. I think so. I think Alien is such a lucrative franchise and it makes money. I know the Ridley Scott stuff hasn't been the best lately, which is kind of why I'm glad that Scott didn't do Blade Runner 2049 and it was Denis Villeneuve, because Blade Runner 2049 was so fucking good. But I think we'll get another. I think we'll get another Alien film simply because Scott has a lot of pull, and there are still diehard fans that want to see it. You know what? I liked Prometheus. I liked Alien Covenant. I didn't love Alien Covenant, but I liked it a lot. Banjo Bob. Hey, I'm a big Always Sunny fan. Nice image. Hey, Lou, finished Kingdom Come today, and all I can say is, wow, incredible. Any other miniseries you would suggest that would easily be read in one sitting? Yeah, man. Vision. Vision by Tom King is good, man. Vision by Tom King. Then there's his Mr. Miracle Run. That's another great, like, good, solid series that you can pick up, and I really recommend you do. And if you do, please use my Amazon links because it gives me a cut. But Vision's my recommendation. It's good stuff. Off the top of my head, I would go with Vision. What else is a good chunky miniseries? I think. How would you feel about like 20 to 30 issues? Would you kind of consider that as like a miniseries? Because if you do, Sweet Tooth is in that ballpark, and Sweet Tooth is good too. Oh, I like this one. Kevin Feige briefly by Ferran Capadia. Kevin Feige briefly mentioned Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, coming to the MCU at some point. How do you think that would work out, and what would you like to see from it? I think Kamala Khan would be, you know what? I would actually like to see Kamala Khan have a Disney Plus streaming show. Nothing against her. I'm pretty sure it'd be cool to see her have her own film and, interact with Peter Parker and Captain What's-Her-Face, Captain Dowerface, or whatever, Captain Marvel. And I think it would be pretty cool. I think it would. I love Miss Marvel. I love Kamala Khan. I think she's a great character. If you haven't read the Solid in a Mid stuff, it's good. I think the G. Willow Wilson stuff was still a little bit better. But Solid in a Mid, he's 5 issues in and he's writing a solid Miss Marvel right now. I think I would like to see more of a Disney Plus show from Kamala Khan. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and it could be a slice of life story. You could set it in New Jersey, and it'd be a blast to do. Who knows what they've got plans for her, though, Robert Pattinson as Batman. I hope he can handle this. Okay. I understand the stigma with Robert Pattinson because he did the Twilight film years ago. However, Pattinson has been cutting his teeth in the indie circuit for a while, and you gotta see some of the stuff he's been doing because he's good, and he is damn good, like really, really good. If you haven't, I highly, highly recommend you check out Good Time. It was a film that came out a few years ago. Almost nobody watched it. It's a small indie film, and he's fantastic in it. He's really good. Plus, we've got that film coming out in a few months by A24. It's the Lighthouse film. It's in black and white. It's done by the director that did The Witch. And that looks really solid, too. So, but I think Pattinson's just getting a bad rep simply because of the fact that he did the Twilight films 10, 15 years ago, and it's kind of time to move past that. As an actor, he's been really working in the indie circuit, and he's been cutting his teeth, and he's a great actor. He's solid, and I think he's going to do a really good job, I mean, so in Twilight, he plays a guy who is sad all the time and is depressed. Who does that sound like? It's Batman. It's pretty much Batman, who's sad and dour the entire time. And the thing that really has me more confident in this project overall is the fact that Matt Reeves is doing it. And Matt Reeves did the Planet of the Apes films. If you haven't seen the Planet of the Apes films, Sweet Christmas, you owe it to yourself to watch them. They are great. He did the last two. My mistake. He did, I think it was War for the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And they were fantastic films. And I think you owe it to yourself to check them out. I've got about another 5 minutes. I've been going on for almost an hour and a half here, guys. You guys have been super fun. I'm going to do these Friday from now on when I get the chance. It'll probably be around the same time, around 6-ish on Friday. So there's that. The thing. Da-da-da. Yes, as a closer. All right. Pattinson has been doing $20 from Babylon Shadows. Glad to see you making vids again, Lou. Thank you, man. Thank you. Wow, the super chat. Holy shit. Thank you so much, man. Wow, no, thank you. Really, I'm super appreciative of it. Thank you so much, Babylon Shadows. I appreciate that. Thank you. Wow. No, wow. I'm truly humbled and I'm truly thankful for that, Babylon Shadows. Thank you, really. Pattinson has been doing great with critics. If anything will get him to connect with audience, it's a good Batman performance. Billis. I agree. I agree. Pattinson has been doing. Pattinson, I can't. Okay, here's my thing with Pattinson. Do you guys remember? Well, probably not, because I think I'm getting up there in age too. I turned 30 this year. Oh my god, I turned 30. Ugh. But Pattinson reminds me of the 90s. If you guys are old enough to remember the 90s out there. If you guys remember the 90s, the same thing that they're saying about Pattinson, they were saying about the pretty boys like Brad Pitt, DiCaprio, and Heath Ledger. Remember that? They were talking shit about those guys. They were saying, wow, these pretty boys, there's no way they could be amazing actors. Brad Pitt just did a Quentin Tarantino film, and he was the best fucking thing about that film. I love the movie, by the way. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is fantastic. It's my favorite Tarantino film since Inglourious Bastards. I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's the most un-Tarantino film. Jonathan Hickman nailed it when he said that. But I see him pulling a Heath Ledger or a Brad Pitt Fight Club style performance, and everybody's going to go, holy fuck, where did he pull that from? At least I hope so. If not, it could be horrible for all we know, Originally, it was supposed to be Ben Affleck. It was supposed to be Ben Affleck, and they had a script going on that was they had a script for the Ben Affleck had a script, and apparently the rumor was that it was supposed to be an Arkham Asylum type script, and he was working with Jeff Johns on it. He was working with him on it, and Matt Reeves came in, looked at the script, and dumped the entire script. Just dumped it. There is no Jeff Johns Ben Affleck script, which I want to get my hands on that script. I really want to see what they had planned for it, because Ben Affleck was originally scheduled to direct. I believe the rumor was that he was supposed to direct and act in it, but it never got off the ground. And I think it's a damn shame, because I want to see what came of it. I really do. Banjo Bob. Sweet Tooth has been suggested to me a lot by friends. Definitely one of those moving up the wish list. I got Day Tripper on digital, but I've heard it hits the feels real hard and have been avoiding it. Okay, Banjo Bob, how old are you? Because Day Tripper is, God, this is such a lame comparison. Day Tripper really is like a fine glass of wine. The older that you are as a person and the more you experience life, the more you will relate to Day Tripper. I can no longer read Day Tripper, and I'll explain why. Because Day Tripper hits way too close to home in a lot of areas. Like a lot of areas. And I just know that if I read Day Tripper, I will be a blubbering mess the rest of the day. I do. I really do. And it hits home in way too many personal areas. I mean, the dog in the book is called Dante, and the dog that I had and he passed away a few months ago was named Dante as well. And man, oh my God, I'm tearing up, honestly, thinking about Day Tripper right now. Oh my God, I can't do it anymore. I can't. It's a beautiful story. It's phenomenal, and there's some great stuff in there, but I personally cannot do Day Tripper anymore. maybe, one day, 20, 30 years down the road, when I'm an old man and, we're all living in the internet or whatever it is, and we're all hooked up to one giant computer, crazy theories, whatever, joking around. Maybe I'll be able to come back to it and check it out, but yeah. Okay. Louis Jupp. All-time favorite Tarantino flick? My all-time favorite Tarantino flick would have to be, you know what? I'm gonna go Jackie Brown. I know the obvious answer for everybody's gonna be Pulp Fiction, but I love Jackie Brown. I love Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown happens to be my favorite Tarantino movie. I think it's one of Tarantino's most mature films. All the characters in it are great. And then after that, I would go Pulp Fiction. Geez, we're gonna rank them. Okay, so let's rank this bitch. I'm gonna say Tarantino films: Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, Res Dogs, Kill Bill 1, Inglourious Bastards, up to 5, Kill Bill 2. Fuck no. Okay. For number 5, it's going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I know that's going to go up because I'm going to watch that again more once it comes out. Then Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill 2, Hateful Eight, and what am I missing? I'm missing 2 films. I'm missing 2 films, and it's bothering me now. Holy shit. Oh, my God. What am I missing, guys? Somebody in the chat help me out. I said Bastards. I said Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction. I said Kill Bill 2. No, I'm missing 1 because he's up to 9. There's 1 that I'm missing right now, and it's going to bother me. He's up to 9 films with this last release. Django. Right. You know what? I would probably rank Django better than Kill Bill. Kill Bill 2. So yeah, that would be probably my list. Death Proof. Does Death Proof count though? Did he direct that? I don't know. I'm looking forward to his Star Trek, that rumored project that's supposed to be in the Kelvin timeline, which is the timeline that they're not doing films anymore. I hope that gets off the ground. Billis, Pulp Fiction is my favorite, but if you haven't seen it, then I would recommend True Romance. Tarantino did the script on True Romance, right? He didn't direct that. That was a script job that he did. But I said Res Dogs. Res Dogs was my number 3. Big month for 4K releases. Which ones are you getting? Yeah, oh my god, it's so frustrating. So for 4K releases this month, we are getting like a mess, a boatload of different releases. We're getting Thor 1, Thor 2, the 3 Iron Man films. What else are we getting? We're getting Endgame. So right there, you've got Thor 1, Thor 2, 3 Iron Man films, and Endgame. You've got six 4K releases coming out from just Disney alone. What else? There's some other stuff. We've got Shadow, that I think it's like a Chinese martial arts film that I've been dying to see. We've got Detective Pikachu that comes out this Tuesday, which I like Detective Pikachu. I thought it was a solid film all the way through. I thought it was fun. I know there are some people that weren't crazy about it. I happen to like it, and I happen to like it in the sense that it comes from a place of, wow, holy shit, I'm actually seeing all these Pokemon that I used to collect and like I loved as a kid on the big screen and in a live format for the first time. And oh my gosh, it's incredible. And they really made that world feel alive. Let's go to the next one. Zombie Slayer. Cool name, dude. How do you think they will handle Blade in the MCU? Keep up the good work. Thanks. Blade in the MCU is going to be a bit of a tough sell. And the reason behind that is that we've seen what a rated R Blade is like. We've seen 3 rated R Blade films, 2 of which are really good. Didn't care for Blade 3. Is Blade 3 even rated R? I don't remember. I think it is rated R. I haven't seen that one in years. But going from that to kind of seeing a watered down version of Blade is going to be its biggest strike against it. How do you go from a really hard R scene in Blade, where the opening scene in Blade 1 is still fucking great, where you've got Blade fighting a bunch of vampires and like the blood is squirting and the sprinklers are going off and it's a club scene? In fact, I might end up watching that tonight. How do you go from that to, well, they kind of just turn into dust? And, you know, we can't really cuss because it's the MCU, and we kind of have to water it down a little bit. So I'm very hesitant against it. But then again, you could do a lot with PG-13 in terms of horror. We've seen good horror films come out and they're PG-13. The Conjuring was one. I like The Conjuring. I don't know. You know, horror is pretty subjective, but Poltergeist, by today's standards, would probably be PG-13. It's not that hard of a film. Let's see. Detective Pikachu and Battle Angel Alita. You know, I just saw Battle Angel Alita. I already have it. Alita Battle Angel came out, man. I have it. I have the steelbook. That was good. Alita Battle Angel was really good. It's not great, but it's really good, and the effects on it are gorgeous. There are some genuinely great moments. The rollerball scene, the death ball, I've never read the manga, so apologies. I've only seen the film. But it was good. It was really good stuff. And what it made me want was another film. Like, it made me hungry to see another fucking one of those movies. I was like, holy shit, can we get another one of these? This was really cool. Louis Jupe. Tarantino also did the script from Dusk Till Dawn and Natural Born Killers. Yes, he did. He did do the script from Dusk Till Dawn and Natural Born Killers. I like Dusk Till Dawn. I think Dusk Till Dawn is still a great movie. And Tarantino is not the not the best actor. Ooh, that's a good list. One Shot Comics. The Nick Pohl Trilogy by Belial. 2, AD After Death by Snyder. Number 3, Essex County by Lemire. Essex County is good. Number 4, The Inkle by Jodorowsky and Mobius. El Diablo, Azzarello. We 3 by Morrison. Good choices there. Very good choices, my good man. Yes, very good choices. If you ever get a chance, there is a documentary. It's subtitled. It came out a few years ago. I think it was like 2013. It's called Jodorowsky's Dune. And it is a brilliant documentary on the making of what would have been a Jodorowsky's version of Dune. It's insane. Like it's crazy. Like, he wanted to have Salvador Dali come in and do the artwork on it. He wanted to have Freddie Mercury do music. Just the level of insanity in that documentary of what the stuff he wanted to do was nuts. It was nuts. I wanted to see that. By the time you finish that documentary, you're like, I don't know if this was going to be a good film or if this was going to be a complete fucking mess, but I still wanted to see the movie because it never got off the ground, unfortunately. But just the level of creativity and how big he wanted to go with that film is nuts. It's so crazy on a scale that I don't think I've ever seen. It's brilliant. It's a great documentary. I really recommend you check it out. Do you think Ennis will do any more Punisher story? And what's your thoughts on the canceled Punisher series? Do I think Ennis always comes back to the Punisher, man? I don't know. Ennis loves writing the Punisher. He's a war character, and Ennis's bag is war characters. He loves writing characters that they have to do with the military. He's got a thing for it. That's his deal. But do I think he'll come back to it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. He always comes back to it. And what are my thoughts on the canceled Punisher series? My thoughts on the canceled Punisher series. I'm very disappointed that it was canceled. I got halfway through season 2, and I was like, this really isn't doing it for me. But I thought John Barenthal was a good Punisher, and it's clear he loved to play the character. He loved the role. He has a tremendous amount of respect for the military, as do I. And, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame we'll never get to see what would happen with that. Jesus, I've been going for an hour and a half. All right. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and stop here because I've been going for an hour and a half, and I don't think anybody else would like to hear me talk for another hour and a half. And this is going to get posted up after this on YouTube. So guys, yeah, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know Friday night's kind of tough for most people, but I figured most people will just catch it after. Let me know what you think about me doing this on Fridays. If this works for you, Fridays just works best for me. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm being consistent. Monday through Friday, there's going to be a video a day. I need the weekends off because, on top of my full-time job, doing Monday through Friday a video a day is going to be tough, but I'm committing myself to it simply because I think that if I do, I can make something of this really happen, and I want something to happen out of this. So, yeah, thank you so much for checking this out, guys. Comment, subscribe if this is your first time checking this out. I'm going to have a video Monday through Friday. There's Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Patreon for whatever it's worth. It's in the comment section if you guys want it. It's in the description. If you guys want to donate to that, cool. If not, I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not doing like the hiding videos thing on Patreon anymore. I kind of consider that more as a tip jar. I'm going to have to revamp that whole thing. Simply because now I'm a few years older, and I don't think that's fair to a lot of people out there that they can't get the content that I'm producing simply because they can't afford it. I don't think that's fair to a lot of people out there, and everybody and their mom has a Patreon now, and it's kind of a bitch. So if you want to, great. If not, I'm not going to hide anything from you. So love you guys. Take care. Bye.